Welcome to Time with Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Claudia Janet Lopez. Lopez was shot and killed on Wednesday, January 1st, 2020, in the 2200 block of West 154th Street in Compton, according to LA County coroner records. Eduardo Ubiarco Jr. was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Miss Soledad had known the victim, whom she called Janet, for more than 19 years. Soledad and her husband Gilberto hung out with defendant and the victim every week or two. Gilberto described defendant as very jealous and a bit possessive. Defendant told Gilberto he believed the victim was cheating on him. Defendant said he would never allow her to move on or to have anybody so that her kids would never call anybody else dad. After Thanksgiving 2019, defendant told Gilberto he'd hit Claudia. The reason was jealousy. Gilberto told defendant to let it be and let her go. On New Year's Eve 2019, the victim and her children, Kay and E, were at the Compton home of her parents and sister. Shortly before midnight, defendant called Kay, who was 10, on her cell phone. He told her to take care of herself and her little brother and that he loved her. Kay told defendant not to do anything stupid because she didn't want him to go to jail. Defendant arrived at the residence around 12:30 or 1 a.m. By then it was January 1st. He went into the bedroom and grabbed Kay to take her away. The victim tried to stop him and they argued. The victim swatted defendant and scratched his face. Defendant slapped her back and Kay started to cry. The victim got between defendant and Kay. The victim's father was able to get Kay away from defendant. The victim's father told defendant to leave. Defendant left the house and went out to the street. The victim and her father went out to the front yard. Defendant went to the car and came back with a gun. He was holding the gun in front of his chest. The victim threw a paving stone at defendant and hit him in the forehead. Blood was dripping from defendant's forehead and he looked pale. He didn't look right. From less than a foot away, defendant shot the victim's father in the chest twice. Defendant then shot the victim. The victim and her father were transported to the hospital in the same ambulance. The father was in the hospital for 3 weeks. They had to remove a kidney and part of his liver and colon were damaged. The victim had surgery but did not survive. An autopsy revealed 3 gunshot wounds. One of those was fatal. The bullet entered through the victim's left armpit, traveled through the body, and exited the right flank. The bullet traveled through some major organs, the lung, the liver, and the stomach. It also passed through 2 of the largest blood vessels in the body, the aorta and the vena cava. Defendant posted a Snapchat of the song El Asesino, The Assassin, by the band Los Cadetes de Linares. At trial, Ms. Soledad testified that the victim and defendant had a joint Snapchat account under the name King Eduardo. On January 1st, 2020, Soledad saw a story on that account and opened it. The prosecutor distributed transcripts of the post in Spanish and English to the jurors. Soledad testified the story had been posted sometime between 7 and 8 p.m. the night before December 31st. Following the trial, the jury convicted defendant of murder and attempted murder and found the firearm use and infliction of great bodily injury allegations true. The jury found defendant's murder of the victim to be in the first degree. The court sentenced defendant to a term of 49 years to life in state prison. Claudia Janet Lopez was 37 years old at the time of death.